Yo, what's up with y'all boys and girls, man? Hey, it's Jay Briggs here on Sunday, October 29th with the Pig Dogs Morning Show, man. We're going to switch it up a little bit today. Switch it up. Let me see how y'all like it, man. First is what I'm going to do. My guy, he's a little under the weather, so I'm going to bring him in first. We're going to talk a little hoops, and then we're going to talk NFL, but I'm going to bring in all the guys. We're going to go round table. We're going to talk some NFL. So without further ado, man, let's make some money on a Sunday. I'm feeling good. I was hot yesterday in the NBA, and we're gonna start the show off talking some NBA. Big Al McMorty, what's up, my man?
Hey, not much, Jay. I'm sorry. I'm just, as you said, under the weather, so I'm, not feeling too good right now. But we'll get through it. But yeah, the NBA is off to a good start, so no complaints from me.
I'm mad at my. I only had 2 premium plays yesterday, but on my NBA Jam session, I swept the board all 7. Those are the days you're just mad. You're like, damn.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
overall, solid day. College football as well. Rangers lost, but
If you're gonna lose 9-1.
Yeah, true. It was over. The misery was over early. I kind of knew. A crazy stat before I let you go, and then we'll talk. Both of those teams, when they've scored first in the postseason, have won every single game. That's crazy.
I mean, it's usually 70%, but yeah, 100% is better than 70%.
Right. Let's talk some hoops. It's NFL Sunday, but the NBA is back, and it's a decent card today. 6 games. We got a really good game on tonight, and that's where we're going. The Lake Show in Sacramento.
Yeah, both the Lakers and Sacramento Kings enter with 1-1 records. Los Angeles, they opened their season with that loss at Denver. Then they bounced back with the win over Phoenix. And, meanwhile, the Kings, they blew out Utah to start the year. And then you and I talked Friday about that Golden State game. So that was an interesting game. It was a really emotional game for Sacramento, and they did lose that one. And it was emotional because the Warriors were the team that bounced Sacramento from the playoffs last year. And generally speaking, I don't like taking teams off that big of an emotional game, win or lose. I don't generally want any part of a team like Sacramento in this game today, but I'm going to make an exception here. I'm going to take the Kings at home. They're 17-7 ATS at home off a home loss. And additionally, NBA teams have gone 64-36 ATS after losing their home opener and failing to cover the spread in that home opener by 10 or more points. And then if they were now playing a team off a win like the Lakers are. So I think Sacramento is in a decent situation today. It's not ideal because they're off that Golden State game, but it's good enough. And I'll take Sacramento minus the 2.5.
Big Al McMorty taking the Sacramento Kings plus the points in this one.
Minus the points.
Minus the points. I'm sorry. They are lame.
Okay.
This one. It should be a good game on tonight. I lean Lakers, but to be honest, I don't have a premium in this one. I left this one alone. It's a tough game. The key for me every night with the Lakers is what Anthony Davis are we going to get? And I think that's what it boils down to on a nightly basis. LeBron is still LeBron. I think he's still a top 15, 20 player in the league. But in that same breath, he's the oldest player in the league. He's 40. He's literally the oldest player in the NBA.
I can't even remember 40.
So, man, it has to be on the shoulders of Anthony Davis, and sometimes he disappears, and I would not be surprised if he disappeared here on the road against the Kings.
Yeah.
What you got for sale today over at Pick Dogs Premium?
I've got 2 plays in the NBA, or actually 3 plays. Yeah, I've got 3 plays in the NBA. Looking to remain hot, off to a 5-2 start in the NBA. I've got 10 plays in the NFL, and yeah, it looks to be a pretty good day. One of my NFL plays, my NFL division game of the year, and then my favorite play in the NBA. It's my NBA conference game of the month. So pretty good card on this Sunday, and folks can just hop on over to the Pick Dogs premium side and get on board. And of course, you can team me up with one of the other champion handicappers here at Pick Dogs on the 2-for-1 or 3-for-1 handicapper special.
Appreciate you joining me as always, Big Al McMorty. Also, before I let you go, tell them about the All Access Club.
Yeah, the All Access Club, it's for, high rollers. If you can bet 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 a game, all the plays are rated. So if we've got 10 plays on a day, they'd be rated, 10 units, 9 units, 8 units. Yesterday we hit all 3 10-unit plays on the Wisconsin Badgers, Texas Longhorns, and Philadelphia 76ers. So there's a lot of benefits to that. And then as well, you can have any additional play that you want. It's 24/7. It's all access. If there's a game going off in 5 minutes and it's 10 at night, you can contact us. We're there. So folks can just text Big Al to 775-636-7676, and we'll get in touch.
Appreciate you, Big Al McMorty, and we'll see you soon. Thanks, I hope you feel better, my man.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Bye.
Yes, sir. It's my guy, Big Al McMorty. Now, let's switch it up, man. Let's bring in everybody. Let's see what everybody feeling like on an NFL Sunday. Money Man Mitch, Brian Bittler, David Racy, Ron Romanelli, and there's a sneak guest in the back. I don't know if he knows what the plan is, so it's Eric. I'll bring him in a minute, though.
We might need to just bring him in at the end, like to close it out or something. We'll figure it out. It's always a work in progress.
It is a work in progress. It's NFL Sunday. How you guys doing today, man?
Doing good.
I'm ready, locked and loaded. After getting juiced yesterday.
Yeah, I've had better days yesterday. It wasn't a 2 and 3 day. I'm looking forward to today's Sunday card, hanging out with you guys here, my good friends here at Big Dogs.
Yeah, I'm doing good as well. I get a non-stressful day as my Lions don't play till tomorrow, so I can just enjoy some NFL football.
Yeah, a few of our teams in action today. My boys in action. We'll see what they talk about later today. All right, man. Let's see what we got going on in the grand scheme of things. Let's start. Speaking of people's favorite teams, guess we can go over to Miami, where we got the Patriots and the Dolphins. I'm going to get the graphic up here in a second. Mitch, you want to start us off in this one?
Patriots, Dolphins?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, last week we saw the Patriots kind of rise to the occasion. Mac Jones prancing around like a fairy or something. I'm not really sure what he thought he was. Tooth Fairy, Peter Pan, not really sure, but definitely didn't look like a professional athlete or a guy that's going to intimidate any defenders anytime soon. In fact, Bill Belichick looked absolutely disgusted with Jones, even though they won the game, which was crazy. But the thing is that, we know Mac Jones is absolutely horrible, and this is the worst Patriots team that Bill Belichick has ever had. And we can't depend on this team to beat anybody at any given time. What we've seen from the Dolphins this year is they have run it up on the bad teams at home, and look at them to run it up here 50+.
Brian, what you thinking in this one?
Sometimes me and Mitch disagree, but on this one, I think I agree with him. I think the Miami Dolphins, even though I think you're seeing the line drop to 8, I think there's no sweat taking the Miami Dolphins here off that bad game against the Philadelphia Eagles. The New England Patriots got to win. Mac Jones did well in one game, but I think he's going to have trouble in Miami. I think they beat him by 14 at least.
Romanelli.
I'm going to go over the total here. We finally saw the Patriots offense do something, 360 yards. And you could say the Bills defense was battling some injuries, but I mean, that same Bills defense that was still battling injuries was exceptional against the Bucs on Thursday. So I think the Patriots move the ball. This Dolphins defense is beatable, but I think Miami scores the ball at will here, move the ball at will against this New England defense, which has been so-so. It's been good against the run, but the secondary I think is questionable. So I'm going to go over the total.
David?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Mitch and Brian in this one. Miami at home against bad teams. They're home. They won by 50 against the Broncos, which kind of blows this number out of the water. But they are winning by an average of 28 points in their 3 home games. They have the much better offense. I think people are buying the Patriots off that win last week, which I think was a fluke. So I'm going to take the Dolphins here to run away with this one.
I'm going to agree with all you guys. I'm on the diggity Dolphins in this one as well. Mitch, you think we see Stephen Ross hit the little waddle again today?
I don't know, man. Let's hope not. It's certain things you just can't unsee, and I think I've never seen nothing whiter than that. And I tell you, I've been in some pretty white situations in my life.
Yeah, I'm on the Dolphins in this one. Mitch hit it right on the head. They've beaten up on bad teams all year.
I thought you were going to say I'd never seen anything whiter in my life either.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take the Dolphins in this one. Should be a good game. Should be a good game, or hopefully not. We'll see. I feel like the Dolphins always beat up on the Patriots in Miami. Next game up. Speaking of two teams, man, that never do nothing. Let's go to the Battle of New York. It's going down in New York today. Let me get my graphic up. Mitch, I'm gonna toss to you. What you thinking about in this one?
The Battle of New York.
Yes, sir.
I think what we see here is sometimes little brother beats up big brother, and I think when you're the second team in the city, we see it in a lot of different sports where there's two sport towns, two team towns. Usually, the one that gets the least press and the least respect gets their chance to punch the other team in the mouth, and look for the Jets to punch the Giants in the mouth in this one.
Brian?
Well, as far as this one goes, I know that total is only 35.5, but I think this Jets defense really shuts down Tyrod Taylor and the New York Giants, and the Jets offense isn't a juggernaut with Zach Wilson at the helm. So I'm going to take the under 35.5.
Harder than I thought. Romanelli.
I'm going to go with the Giants here. I just think that without Daniel Jones, this team has just looked a lot better on both sides of the ball. Even though they're not scoring a ton of points, they're still moving the ball, running the ball pretty well. The passing game's getting going a bit. The offensive line still has a lot of concerns, but the defense has just stepped it up in a big way. We saw 6 sacks last week against Washington. Now you're facing a Jets offensive line that's given up 9 sacks the last 2 weeks. I'm going to go with the Giants here plus the points. I think they can win this game outright again.
David?
Yeah, I think the Giants are improving, but I'm still going to roll with the Jets in this one. That secondary is getting healthy, and the Giants are going to have a hard time moving the ball. I do like how Taylor has looked, but the Jets, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but Zach Wilson has actually played okay. So I'm going to take the Jets in this one.
I'm gonna agree with my guy Romanelli in this one. I'm taking the Giants. I've been on the Jets a ton, especially like these last 3 weeks. I like what Zach Wilson has done, but I just think now it's time to hop off. The Giants, in the grand scheme of things, man, all their losses were against good teams. Tyrod Taylor has looked good. I think these two teams in my mind are 50-50, and getting the points or plus money is a solid place to be. I see the Giants showing up in this one, possibly getting it done. Next up, oh, look who popped in. My guy, Joe Vaughn. What's up, my man?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Nothing much. We switching it up today. We're going with the round table. Missed one game, but we're on Giants-Jets. I'm going through the whole card. I know we're kind of throwing it on you, but any opinion on Giants-Jets?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. That's what I think. Even at this low total, just have a Jets team who just can't be trusted on the offensive side of the ball. Even though they're facing a Giants team who's overall, nothing to write home about defensively. Last couple games, they've shown that they, could stop their opponents. The last 2 opponents, which were the Bills and the Commanders. So I think they keep it rolling. The Jets do the same.
There you go, Javon liking the under in that one. Anything else before we move on next game?
Kind of vibing on the round table. I like it. I like the round table. I like the Jovan pop thing because I know that you can just throw any game at him. I know he can talk about it, so it's awesome.
It's like old times.
Yeah, that's exactly the idea here. Is that we tried different things. We don't always, just because we go one direction doesn't mean we stay there. And I kind of like the round table, especially on Sunday where we have 3 hours before game time, so we're not in any rush. And it gives everybody a chance. And if you don't have an opinion on a game, you just say, you know what, I'm sitting this one out. And then the rest of us get the rest of us will get to make fun of you. We have names for people like that. Brian knows most of them. The gold.
All righty, man. I should have loaded all this up beforehand, but it's all good.
That's so
I'm gonna get through. Next up, man, we're finna go to Jacksonville and Pittsburgh. This should be a decent game today. This one This game makes me nervous. I said this on the jam session. This game makes me nervous. I could really see this game going either way. So I'm interested to hear you guys' thoughts on this one. Let me switch it up. I'm throwing it to Mitch first. Let's go backwards. David, what you think?
Yeah, this is going to be a good game, and I'm with you, Jay. I think it could go either way. Jacksonville's played very well in their last 4 games, especially offensively. They've woken up a little bit. Pittsburgh, always tough defensively, got the win against the Rams, beat the Ravens in that battle 2 games ago. But in this one, I'm going to side with Jacksonville. I just think they're playing too well right now. I know they're going on the road, but I'm going to take the Jaguars and that offense to get it done here.
I definitely, hey, like I said, this game makes me nervous. I do think the Jags are the better team. And most of the numbers, say Jags, but they've said the opposite of the Steelers all year. So that's what makes this tough. Like Mike Tomlin and them, they feast in these roles, this home underdog role. Romanelli, anything to add to this?
Yeah, I think the spot definitely benefits the Steelers, but it's just tough to go against Jacksonville right now. I mean, when you look at their schedule, they played 2 London games, and they played no bye week in between those. They played a home game against Indy. Then they go on the road on a Thursday night short week and against New Orleans. Now another road game here, but at least if they have the long week in between and the bye week coming up. But I just think Jacksonville's playing so well that it hasn't mattered all these road games and neutral site games. The offensive line strong. Steelers just don't trust this offense. It's been one-dimensional, and that one dimension has not even been that great. They haven't been able to run the football much. The defense has been good, but not as much pass rush as I would have liked, recently. Only 6 sacks the last 2 or 3 weeks combined. So give me the Jags here. I'll lay the less than field goal, even though Tomlin is tough to beat as a home dog.
Yeah, I agree, man. This is a tough one. This one is a tough one, but I like what you and David are saying. I do think I agree. I think the Jags are the better team. Jovan, what you think in this?
Yeah, I'm on the over in this one. Look at the Steelers defense. They do wreak havoc, but if they're not turning teams over, then they're in a little bit of trouble as far as what they're doing on defense. They allowed this year, as opposed to other years, they've allowed teams to go up and down the field. So I think the Jazz could make some hay as far as scoring points on the other side. If the Steelers do get into a deficit, they're gonna have to throw the ball. So in that case, I think points are gonna be scored, and I think this total will be a little bit too low. So give me the over.
Over for Jovan here in this one. Brian B, what you got?
No, I'm going to agree with Jovan here. I'm going to take the over. Jaguars come in with the 31st defense against the pass, and the Steelers, they can't run the ball. They're going to be throwing it. I just feel this 40.5 is a little bit light here. Steelers don't have the best offense in the world, but I think we should be able to get the 42 points today, so I'm going to take the over.
Money man, Mitch.
Give me points with Mike Tomlin at home, and you don't have to even ask me twice, man. That's pretty much the way this works. It's I don't even understand it, because you have a coach in Doug Peterson who loves to lose, loves to make stupid decisions and blame it on whatever he wants to. But it's like, you can't make dumb coaching decisions against the really good coaches. It works against the Brandon Staley's of the world or the Mike McDaniels of the world. It does not work against a guy like this. It just doesn't. I'm taking the Steelers. Money line. Reverse money line. Reverse, minus 2.5.
Yeah. I don't have a dog in this fight. If I had to, gun to my head, I would take the Jags. I do think they are the better team. But I can't fade Mike Tomlin with a good conscience at home underdog, in this spot. This is where they feast at. Ron made some good points. I think Ron made the best points. They are one-dimensional offensively. Najee Harris has not, he really hasn't looked good to me since he came into the league. Kenny Pickett, I think he's getting better. But I still haven't watched the game and been like, ooh, look at that Steelers offense. I haven't said that yet. So it makes it tough, man. I think the Jags are one of the best teams in the AFC. I do. And I would not be surprised if we blinked and at the end of the year, the Jags had the number 1 seed in the AFC. I would not be surprised at all.
Jags going to
I'd
the
be
Super
very,
Bowl.
very surprised.
I
I'd be
would.
Jags would be in the
shocked.
Super Bowl.
Oh my God, man. Not with that coach. No chance.
Doug
man.
Peterson has one Super Bowl title. I mean,
Yeah, and then he lost his freaking mind.
And he
was
does
a
have the
Super Bowl
Jaguars
coach,
at 5-2.
Super Bowl coach that was fired. You know how hard that is, that close to winning the Super Bowl? It is like next to impossible to get fired that close to winning a Super Bowl. But he managed to do it because he just is an idiot. I mean, he just doesn't understand the game of football. It's like, you know, he could say he does whatever and is, you know, it's his decisions and whatever. But I'll tell you what, man, if he doesn't get lucky breaks, he doesn't win. And that's just the way that it works. Because if it's 4th and 5 from your own 45 with 2 minutes left to go in the half and you're playing the Kansas City Chiefs, you better freaking make it if you're going for it. No chances, no nothing. I mean, they're better. Chris Jones better be out for the year, man, if you're doing that against the Kansas City Chiefs. Because what happens? You're going to give the ball to Patrick Mahomes with 2 minutes left to go in the half at your 45-yard line. I say
It was the
best of
KC
luck
45.
with that. Yeah, 10 more yards for this
That's
guy.
a big deal. That's a big difference.
Okay, yeah. It certainly wasn't for it. It wasn't for Patrick Mahomes on that day.
You can't punt on their side of the field, 45.
Why? People do it all the time.
Too conservative against
you don't
Mahomes.
punt at the 45.
With the lead and 2 minutes left to go in the half and Patrick Mahomes on the other side of the field, you sure as hell do.
You're in no man's land.
You got to play for the first down to put the other team away.
The great coaches punt.
Great
enough.
coaches are not in the league.
You might as well
anymore.
just take a knee. Take a knee. I mean, it was worse than taking a knee, right? His quarterback got sacked, busted up a little bit. Chris Jones kind of gave him the business.
Next game up, man. We got the Falcons and the Titans.
I miss Malik, man. I miss Malik. I need to see him. I heard it's Levis, but I need Malik.
I think there's a good chance we see both in this one. I do.
Oh, good, man. Better not be saying that to make me happy. Man.
I'm not. I think there's a good chance we see both of them here today.
Gotta have Malik, man. Gotta be Malik.
Anybody want to go first? I'll just randomly do it. Anybody want to jump on first?
I'll go first. If I see Malik Willis hit that field, I'm betting the other team. I don't even care what the point spread is. He's my Emory Jones of the NFL. I'm starting a GoFundMe for Emory Jones's legal bill to campaign for another season of college football. He's paying for it himself with his performances on the field this year, including last night's gem. And Malik Willis, he certainly has the capability to do this. You just have to remember this with quarterbacks like Malik Willis, the Emory Joneses of the world, these type of quarterbacks. You're only going to get X amount of chances to bet against them. We talked about this with Trey Lance last year, and it was all over in 72 minutes. You only get X amount of chances to bet against these guys. You have to take full advantage of every single one. Now, Desmond Ridder, I think he's improving, and I think when Mac Jones moves into the backup spot in Atlanta, I think he's going to be a little bit, maybe have, a guy he can talk to on the sidelines who might be able to see things because, Mac Jones will probably never be seen in the field again when that happens. But anyways, I'm rolling with the Titans and I'm rolling with the Falcons in this one. And like I said, Malik warming up on the sideline, just smash those in games.
To me, Levis is just as bad. So
he's horrible. He's hideous. He's hideous. I mean, this is a two-headed monster beyond our wildest dreams. We haven't seen anything like this in quite some time. This is just pure. This is poetry.
Brian, what you thinking?
I agree with Mitch on this one, but I'm going to take the under 35.5. I don't see how the Titans are going to score much with those two quarterbacks. I think they have to run the football. Falcons love to run the football. That eats up clock. So I'm going to take the under 35.5. And the Falcons have the second best defense in the league according to the yardage given up.
Falcons, I've been saying that their defense is the unit that's underrated. They keep them in a lot of games that they probably shouldn't be in. Jovan, what you thinking?
Yeah, I'm on the Titans, man. Even with whether it's Levis or Malik Willis on the under center, somehow, some way the Titans cover the spread. It's just one of those things where I'm basically betting the coach. in this one. You know, as a home dog under Mike Vrabel, you know, the Titans get it done. You know, so that's really where it's at with me in this game.
You know, I have the stat. I don't know if I have it right here in front of me. But yes, you are absolutely right. Mike Vrabel here at this as an underdog period is very profitable. Home underdog, it's astonishing how well they usually play in these situations. The thing is, Javon, are they as good as in years past?
The answer is they're not. But hey, this is the NFL and it's any given Sunday. So, and you know they're coming off a bye, you know, from London or whatever. So you know they got some things in their favor as far as you know preparation and rest. So
There you go, Javon. Romanelli, what you think?
Well, it's Malik's day.
yeah, it's a scary proposition too. I get it, but you know.
I don't even understand what this guy's doing out there. It's like I don't even know if he's even trying.
Romanelli, what you think?
I think any total steeper than 6 points is too many. I like the under. Desmond Ritter's the king of fumbling in the red zone. I think they had 3 lost fumbles in the red zone last game, almost 4. And that's chef's kiss when you're looking for an under because your team goes all the way down the field, chews all the clock, and then gives up the ball basically in a punt to the other team. I don't trust Levis or Willis. I don't know which option is weaker. I said Levis was the weakest or the worst option in the draft class this year. So I think the Falcons defense, which has been outstanding, it's the run and the pass, should have a great day. And like I said, Ritter, can't trust him. They've moved the ball well, the Falcons, 400-plus yards the last 3 weeks. They scored 16, 16, and 21 in those games. So they just have big issues in the red zone. Titans have a solid defense. I'll take the under.
Fair enough. And last but not least, David, what you thinking?
Yeah, I think we'll see. I like the under, but I'm going to take the Falcons. The reason being, I feel like the Titans might turn it over quite a bit, leading to some short fields for Atlanta. And I think it could get ugly. Just all to Mitch's points, the quarterback situation for Tennessee is not ideal. And like I said, I think we could see some turnovers leading to some short fields. I think Atlanta scores quite a bit in this one and runs away with it.
I'm gonna agree with you. I know this. I'm aware of the stat with Mike Vrabel. I am. And I hated on the Titans a lot last year and paid the price for it. Mitch usually loves the Titans, the small market team and all that. But I do think the blow up is coming for Tennessee. We've already seen Byard leave. Derrick Henry, we've heard the rumors swirling. I think this is the game that breaks the camel's back. I think we'll see Willis and Levis and be like, damn, this team can't even draft right. I think they're both that bad. I think they both struggle. I think the Falcons defense, looks good today, and I think the Falcons do win and cover. It's a tough place to be. What are they? 2-5 ATS? They're not a cover team this year, the Falcons, but I do think they get this one done. We'll see. Next up. Let's go to my city, man. Let's come over to my town. We got them boys at the crib, laying 7 on the Los Angeles Rams. Short, sweet, simple. Y'all already know. I'm taking the boys. I got in early at 6.5. I do think you're still okay at 7. I think they win this game 10 plus. The Cowboys, I don't know if you guys are aware, man. They're on a 10-game home winning streak. This team don't lose at home. I know this is an ATS game, but I still think that they beat up on this team. This is a Rams team that just played 3 straight home games. Now they're out on the road going up a team that has the rest advantage in the Dallas Cowboys, who is dominant at home. And we haven't really seen them, at their peak, in my opinion. I know we've seen them beat up on some bad teams. I think the Rams are closer to that than, the teams that have, showed up. I'm taking Dallas here. I understand why the line's where it's at. I'm laying the wood. I know that's not surprising. Mitch, what you think?
I'm gonna take the Cowboys as well in this one. I think the line looked super pushy at 7 though. I like the Cowboys better when Diggs was healthy, to be honest with you. And I think it just when you have a cover corner that you don't have to worry about, put him out there. Certainly makes everybody else's life a lot easier. And of course, Stafford's got the cannon arm. Thing is, I think the Cowboys maybe get a hand on one of those balls, pop it up in the air, and I think we get a defensive score here from the Cowboys in this game. Probably the difference.
Brian B, you rocking
with I'm usually not a fan of buying points, but you can buy a half point and get it to 6.5. I think 7 might be the magic number here because Dallas does have the rest advantage. They do have the Eagles on deck next, a possible look-ahead spot, but I just think they're much better than the Rams. The Rams did well early, and they're a scrappy team, but Dallas just talented offense and defensive side of the ball. I think they win this game by a touchdown, maybe 10 points, but I would buy that half a point.
Jovan, you zagging or you agreeing with the panel thus far?
I flip-flop on this game all week.
I understand it's tough. It's a tough one. It's not just a layup. It's not.
I mean, I definitely would jumped on the Cowboys early in the week when it was at 6.5, but the 7, I could see a pathway for the Rams, but Matthew Stafford has to play better ball because the way he's been playing the last couple of weeks, it's been awful. So he has the receivers to do it. That's for damn sure. With Cooper Kupp and the other kid, what's his name, Puka or something like that. So like I said, I'm still flip flopping it, but at 7, I'm gonna take the points. Fair. And hey, if you could get not exact score, but what's the exact margin of victory and have it at 7, I think that might be worth a play.
I think that's probably worth a solid play, to be honest. It's probably a good plus money. I'm gonna look here in a second and see if I can find it, see what that's at. Exact margin.
Could be out there.
Yeah. Romanelli, anything for you in this one?
Yeah, I'm on the Cowboys. I think they win this one big. I mean, Dallas has had 3 games this year where they were +3 or more in the turnover differential. Those were the blowout wins over the Giants and Jets, 40-0, 30-10, and then the blowout win over New England, 38-3. And Stafford's just looked not great. 6 interceptions already, a 7-6 touchdown interception ratio. His completion percentage is down. He is the king of throwing a lot of picks. We saw a couple years ago where he had 50 touchdowns and 20 interceptions to go with it. So even though Diggs is not there, he was one of the big, turnover getters for the Cowboys defense. I still think Dallas forces a few of those, and that should be enough to win this game. I think the Cowboys offense moves the ball coming off the bye week. I like Dallas big here.
I'm a little nervous now. Everybody trying to hop on my boys, man. I'm a little nervous now. Now I'm playing. I trust you guys. You my guys. David, what you thinking?
I'm going to take the points with the Rams here. The Rams have been okay. They've been better than I thought they would be this year. I know they're only 3-4, but they've been in plenty of these games. They've only lost 1 game this year by more than 7 points. I think you guys are right. I think the 7 might fall into a push. It seems right about the right number, but I'm going to take the points with the Rams here.
Over under on games that we all agree on. Do you think there's going to be a single game that we all agree on today?
No, I think there will. I think there will be.
No bueno.
I think so.
Because I'll purposely take the other team.
Fair enough. Next game up, not the sexiest game on television today. I think there's some good betting value. I'm interested to know what you guys got to say. We got the battle of the rookie quarterbacks, man. 1 and 2. CJ Stroud and Bryce Young. We got the Texans laying 3.5 on the Panthers. Let's start from the back end this time. David, what you thinking?
I'm rolling with the Texans in this one. I really like how Stroud has looked to start his career. I know he started the season better than he's playing in the last couple games, but this Panthers team is not good. And, I know road team favorite, but I can't trust the Panthers. They are allowing quite a few points defensively. Stroud's been slinging it around pretty good, so give me the Texans here.
Fair enough. Laying the wood on the road with the Texans. Romanelli, what you think?
I'm on the other side. I like the Panthers here. I just think if we saw this matchup week 1, the line would probably be Carolina laying 3, 4, with how bad most people expected the Texans would be. Now it's week 8. I know things change, but I do think it's a little bit of overreaction to the win-loss records for these teams. With now Houston laying over the field goal 3.5. I think just value with Carolina, even though the defense has given up a lot of points per game, the yards has actually not been that bad, especially in the secondary, where they're only giving up 198 yards per game. The offense, I think will get going here against a weaker Texans defense. I think, when you look at Houston's last couple of weeks, giving up 341 and 351 passing yards to the Saints and the Falcons, not necessarily gunslinging quarterbacks there. So I think Carolina's offense has a solid day. I think they win the game outright. I think they get their first win of the year.
Okay, Romanelli going short, taking the Panthers. What you thinking, Jovan?
No, I'm on Carolina too. I think the hook might loom large in this one. One thing that Carolina can do is throw the ball against this Texans defense. And the Texans aren't too strong against the run either, so they could make hay with that. With Miles Sanders and company. If Miles Sanders is playing, I don't know what his status is right now, but yeah, even though the Panthers, on the defense especially, the injury riddled, I think being at home, being an 0-5 team, 0 whatever team, 0-6, 0-5, whatever they are. I think they get up for this one. I think Bryce Young has a decent game. He gets that Allen Thielen the ball, and they could at least cover the spread, if not win.
Brian B., what you thinking?
I'm going to have to go here with the Texans. C.J. Stroud, 9 touchdowns, 1 interception. You don't see rookie quarterbacks excelling like this early in their career. 3-3 in the Texans. If they want to make a playoff push, this is a must-have game for them. Panthers 0-6. To me, I'll lay the -3.5. It could come down to a field goal, but I think the Texans escape here with a touchdown win.
Money man Mitch.
Yeah, this is a tough one because I was pretty hard on the Texans to start the season and Stroud, but he's definitely proved me wrong. Bryce Young is straight ass for the Panthers, and I think Ron is right. Maybe if it was week 1, maybe the point spread would be whatever, but the reason why it's not is because we've seen it on the field, and the Panthers are the worst team in the NFL this season. They haven't covered a spread yet, and I'll tell you, to be honest, I don't even think they've been all that close. And I think in even some of the games that they've been closer, they weren't that close. It was just one play here or there that made it, that dressed it up a little bit. And I think, like the Vikings game, they had pick 6, and the Dolphins game, they recovered a fumble deep in Dolphin territory, got a thing, but they didn't cover the spread. And they were leading. They stink, man. I think it's way easier to go 0-16 in the or 0-17, 0-16 in the NFL than it is to go 12-5. And I think we're going to see more teams at the bottom. And I think the Panthers should be looking at that first overall pick, and they have some decisions to make as to what they're going to do with it. But they could pretty much book their ticket. They're not going to win a game all season. They're that bad. And the disparity between them and second to worst is that large. And I think we're going to see it today. I think you could say Frank Reich is a decent coach. He's not a great coach. He's got fired. He was the coach of that Colts. He is that freaking coach. And, in that video, to be honest with you, and this DeMeco Ryans is going to be basically writing his own ticket for the rest of his life as a head coach, because this is the most unbelievable thing I've seen in quite some time. Drew a line in the sand. He saw his team wasn't playing well. Man, they draw a line in the sand. These guys are rolling, looking like they look like a playoff team the way they're running the football and playing defense.
I'm going to go with Jovan and Ron Romanelli in this one. I'm taking the Panthers. I'm with Ron. I think they get their first win of the season today. It just sets up. I just see this one. I just see it. Coming off a bye, they're at home. Like, sit and ask yourself, do you really want to be laying 3.5 with the Texans on the road? Like, no, you don't. You do not. They're not that good. They're okay. They're getting better. They're better than we thought, but we're getting to that time of year where rubber meets the road. Like, the Panthers, they're bad, but they're not. I don't think that the margin is 3.5 here. I think it had this game been a couple of weeks ago, like Ron said, the line. This game could.
Jay, what was the line in week 1 of the Giants Cowboys game?
What was it? 3 for 3.5?
3.
Yeah.
What would it be today? 33.
8.5.
33 is still a cover, man. It doesn't matter,
schedule.
Man. It doesn't matter because they don't even have the same players as they did week 1. There's a team with no depth that's thinner.
Look at the Carolina schedule. At Atlanta, at Seattle, at Detroit, at Miami, 4 road games against winning teams, and then Minnesota, New Orleans are your home games against so-so teams. And you could argue this is the weakest opponent they've played all year.
Yes.
And you're getting 3.5 with the home team. The rest
The
of the home team.
the Texans haven't just been playing bad teams well; they've been playing good teams well.
No, I'm not saying that, but
in fact, Brian's Jaguars didn't they wax the crap out of them? Doug Peterson, the offensive genius. You know, it's like I don't see what you guys are talking about. I understand that the Texans might be the squarest play of all square plays today. I think it is. I don't have a premium pick on it. I believe, you know, it takes one to know one. So I do believe that this could be the squarest play on the board. And, you know, but I see a path, you know, for the Texans to get there. I don't see the path for the Panthers outside of some crazy bounce, weird play, man. It's like, you can't bank on that. I mean, this one has a way better chance of being 41-3 than it does to be a Panthers win outright. Way better chance.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see. What time is this? 12 o'clock. This
So he's storming the field in Carolina. No.
So we'll be live halftime in this one. We'll see. Let's move on. Next up, a better game. Still not one of the best games on today, but a better game. We got the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers. We're in Lambeau Field with it. It was money. It was even. I'm now seeing Minnesota as a 1-point favorite. Mitch, let's start with you. Anything with you in this one?
Once again, falls into my category of quarterbacks we have to relish the opportunity to bet against while they're here. And Jordan Love is absolutely hideous. This guy, the fact that he's had years to sit on the bench behind Rodgers and learn the system and all those sort of things, that he is behind the rookie class of this year. He basically is Malik and Will Levis. He is that. He's awful. I mean, he throws the ball high, late, over the middle. Like that's his regular throw. Is high and late over the middle. You stink, man. You stink. It's like he is not. It's like, can you imagine thinking when drafting a guy 3 years ago when you didn't need a quarterback and you desperately needed wide receivers and you had one of the best quarterbacks in the last 25 years on your team and you had no wide receivers. And it's like you have the 15th pick in the draft and you take this piece of crap instead of a wide receiver to help your guy because was he a once in every 5 years type player? Shit, he's a free agent, man. He's worse than a free agent. He's not as bad as Mac Jones, but he's almost as bad as Mac Jones. He's like Mac Jones is the worst, and then he's close to it. I put Levis ahead of this guy and Mac Jones. Mac Jones sucks. I mean, he's a joke. He will not be the quarterback in New England next season. I'll put anything on it.
I put a poll in the chat. I forgot to run the polls. Let me know who y'all think in the poll. 700 live. Smash that like button for us, man. We really appreciate every last one of y'all. Brian.
It's like the Jay Giles band, man. Love stinks. Yeah.
Brian, what you thinking here?
For me, I think the Packers might be the best free pick on the board today. If you take out the 3 interceptions, Jordan Love.
Now I like the Vikings even more.
Jordan Love has 10 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. If you take out that bad game against the Raiders, this is Green Bay at home.
Wait, the bad game against the Raiders. When was the good game? When exactly was the good game?
Season. I think he had a good game against the Chicago Bears, which everybody has a good game against the Bears. If you look at Love's numbers,
they were 2.5-point dogs in that game. Speaking of first season spreads, but anyways, I'd like to know when the good games were. If you're going to say you had a bad game against them, when was the good game?
Well, Love's not a tremendous quarterback, and he's not even an average quarterback. He's slightly below, but his numbers aren't that bad. In Minnesota, they've won 2 straight games. They're coming off of that San Francisco 49ers win, so people are going to be, I'm not going to say making love to the Minnesota Vikings here, but this line kind of looks light to back the Vikings. And
it went through zero. It went clean through zero.
Vikings come in with the better team.
The line went clean through zero. It flipped right through zero, which is one of the toughest moves in all of line movement. What are you talking about, man?
To me, the eye test here is, Vikings won the last 2 games. They beat the San Francisco 49ers, who a lot of people have going to the Super Bowl. Now they're just basically a pick 'em against the Packers. I don't buy it. I think
You
Green Bay
think
comes
you
up
think books generally just move the line through 0?
It was after the Monday night game.
All I'm saying is this
once the
game
Vikings
is
pulled off
basically,
that
it's
win.
basically a pick 'em. So, I mean.
Jovan, what you think?
Yeah, I don't like the game, but if I had to pick a side, then I'm gonna roll with the Vikings. It sets up pretty nicely for them if they could get this W. With the next teams that they have, going up against Atlanta at home, and Atlanta at home. Being at Atlanta, they're not a good team at home. On the road, I guess they're a different team, but then they face New Orleans and then Denver. So they've already won 2 straight, and I think they have a few advantages, at least statistically, against Green Bay. Green Bay just can't show that they can move the ball. That's problematic, especially in the run game. You would think that Green Bay can at least move the ball, run in. They're bottom 3rd in that category. So, Jordan Love is whatever, but the more concerning thing for me is the Packers not being able to move the ball. So give me the Vikings.
The Packers' run defense is also like almost last in the NFL too, 158 yards a game or something. I mean, they gave up like the Broncos looked like freaking the Pony Express from SMU against them.
The Vikings' run offense is horrible, though.
Yeah. So it's like a wash.
Not last week they weren't. Not
Yeah,
last week.
They had
Not last week they weren't.
3.5 yards a carry and 74 yards. Yippee doo!
Yeah, but they found the end zone.
Yeah, because of Kirk Cousins. But
Kirk Cousins, you just got to give him space to create. That's
he didn't have much space. But he was excellent.
He's that type of player. You just got to get him in space, and let him create.
Kirk Cousins was excellent. It was one of his best games of his career. But there was a few throws that could have went either way, like that Addison touchdown. I think it was at the end of the second quarter. It looked like it was going to be a pick, and somehow Addison's in the end zone. So it was some dicey throws there. I think this is a horrible spot for Minnesota, coming off an emotional upset victory. Back-to-back wins, like Brian said. Now going into Lambeau, the home team has covered the spread in 4 straight in the series. And I bet against the Packers 5 straight weeks. I got a bad number with the Falcons and lost that one. I got a good number with the Saints and won that one. And then the Packers gotten crushed the last 3 weeks. But I still think this is a beautiful spot for Green Bay to bounce back, get a win. I don't trust Minnesota's offense or defense on the road here. I don't trust the run game. And the biggest weakness the Packers have defensively is that run defense. But Minnesota can't exploit that. So give me Green Bay.
I think they were a way better home team when Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback and in these home team dominating the series.
Yeah,
that's all.
He was excellent last year. Aaron Rodgers.
He was a way better home quarterback than this guy.
David, what you thinking?
I'm going with the Packers in this one. And the Packers I don't think are very good, but I don't think the Vikings are very good either. You look at the Vikings wins recently, or the 3 wins this year, the Panthers, who aren't good, the Bears, who aren't good, and the 49ers, who were banged up. I just think on the road, no run game, the Packers pass defense actually is not bad. I'm going to hope Jordan Love can put a few drives together here, but I like the Packers at home.
I'm going Minnesota. David, I think you just don't want them Vikings to catch them Lions in the division.
That could be part of it.
Nah, but I understand the points Romanelli and Brian made. I'm not as anti like Mitch is on the points, but this Packer team sucks. Like Jordan Love sucks. That's just as purely as I can put it. And Minnesota is not that.
It's just so weird that they're a home dog. I mean, how often are the Packers, like in the last 20 years, man, been even a home dog? It's probably, a handful at the most. They're begging you to take the Packers. I mean, they're begging you.
Back weeks lose to the Broncos.
No, they're not.
Raiders.
Yes, they are. Oh, yes, they are.
But
yes, they are.
They're 2
Oh,
and
yes,
4.
they
The
are.
Packers are 2
They're
and 4
doing a very
on
good
the
job.
year.
The Packers are the most public team of any team there is. They're the
Dallas
most
Cowboys.
followed, most public team. Go to a sports book.
That's not the case. People hate on the Cowboys.
Go to any sports book in the world, and today, what will be the most popular team at that sports book? Green Bay Packers. I always.
Probably Dallas Cowboys, but
Nope. Packers. Packers and Steelers. Always. Always, man. Two most popular teams. It's not even close. I've spent a lot of time in sports books, man. Packers and Steelers.
But yeah, I'm on the Minnesota Vikings in this one. I think it's gonna be a hell of a game. The line is right where it's at for a reason. It's probably gonna come down to the last play.
What does Don Best have the public at? I never look at it, but I'll look.
I didn't look either. All right, next game up. Let's keep it rolling. We have the Saints and the Colts. I think this is a decent game today. I'll start this one. I've been on the Colts a ton. Like, the Colts been one of my teams, and I'm staying on them again this week. Why jump off? I think they moved the football better on a better defense last week in the Browns. I think the Browns defense is better than this Saints defense. I do. And we saw them move the football efficiently. I think they're going to move the football on the Saints too. The Saints are bad. The Saints are not a good football team. I think people thought Derek Carr was going to come on here and be a plug and play, and the defense would still be as solid as it has been in years past, but that has not been the case. This defense has not been able to be the staple. Gave up 31 last week. They lost to the Texans out on the road.
It's 50-50 that game.
Okay.
Don Best. Public percentage, 50-50.
And Tampa put up 26 on them. I don't trust this offense, and especially not here out on the road. I know they blanked the Patriots, but the Patriots were terrible in that one. I was more surprised to see the Patriots look good last week than to see the Saints blow out the Patriots. I'm taking the Colts as the home dog in this one. I think they run the football down the throat. They got a 1-2 punch. Zach Moss, Jonathan Taylor. Minshew is solid. He's not the best. I'm not trying to say he's good or anything, but he's solid. I'm taking the Colts. Mitch.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where it's like, if you like the Panthers today, I don't see how you can't like the Saints, because it's the same type of trend. The Saints are the worst favorite of any team in the NFL. They have not covered 8 times in a row in the favorite role. So some people like to say they're due, but I don't think you're ever due. I think that they're just a bad team in the favorite role, man. I think the Colts, I think the Colts had a week to think about that. It's like the Colts had a week to think about that game last week, that they played the better football. They won that game, man, and they not on the scoreboard. And I think when you have a week to think about that, I expect them to be a lot more solid and make a lot less mistakes in this game. And I don't think that the Saints are overall that talented from top to bottom to beat a Colts team that executes perfectly. So I'm going to take the Colts here. And also the Saints are, like I said, 0-8 in the last 8 as favorites. So
Brian B., you taking New Orleans on the road?
I'm going to take the under 44.5 here. I do think the Saints defense is going to bounce back from that 31 against the Jaguars last week. And the Colts defense comes in ranked 8th as far as total yards given up. I think you're going to see a lot of running the football with Jonathan Taylor, a little bit of Moss mixed in there. I think that works the clock. I'll take the under 44.5.
Solid. Jovan, what you think?
Yeah, I'm in the direct line of fire with that. I'm on over in this one. One of the things about New Orleans,
I'm just instigating.
Their offense not good, but the one thing that they do well is throw the deep ball, and I think they're gonna have their chances to connect on a few deep passes against this Colts defense. On the other side, we saw some regression with this Saints defense, and I think that carries over, or that at least the last time they played it. I think we just see some regression with them as far as what they do on defense, especially in the secondary. And I think Minshew, he's going to sling it all over the place, and with their their capability to run the ball, it's going to open things up for Minshew. So give me the over in this one. It's a little bit too low for me.
Romanelli, what you think?
I'm gonna agree with Jovan. I like the over here. I think the Saints offense has just been super unlucky. I mean, they're struggling in the red zone, similar to the Falcons. They've had 400 plus yards the last 2 weeks, and they haven't done anything with it. So, the Colts defense wasn't really the reason why they were hanging in that game against the Browns. we've seen them give up 39 and 37 the last couple of weeks. I do think New Orleans has a big day offensively, but I also think that this Colts offense, I mean, I didn't think it'd be possible without Anthony Richardson there, but they're moving the ball well, especially through the air against a really tough Browns defense. Like, I agree with you, Jay. I think if they can move the ball against the Browns, I think, the Browns defense is top 3 in the league. So now you're playing New Orleans, who have struggled there. I want to say, I think we see a high scoring game. This total just keeps rising, and I think it'll open up at 41.5 up to 44, but I still think there's value on the over there. So you can get 43.5. I'll take the over.
Mr. Racy, what you thinking?
Yeah, not to sound like a broken record, but I like this over as well.
Okay.
I don't care for that Colts defense.
Ryan,
I think
you're on island, my man.
I think the Saints are better offensively than I think they're doing better work offensively than the results have shown. I think they break through today, and then I think the Colts will be able to move the ball as well.
Brian, does it make you nervous being on the island, or you like being on the island?
Well, in this case, I'm not very good at totals, so maybe I am off on this one. But I just feel like the Colts are really going to be running the football, and the Saints defense, I haven't given up on them. I don't think they're regressing. I think they had a bad week against the Jaguars, and I think they'll come back and relatively shut down the Colts.
You don't think that it's their offense that hangs them out to dry? I think that's, for
Saints offense is brutal. Yeah.
Right. So for defenses, sometimes it's not necessarily the play of the players on the field. It's that they're just on the field all freaking day because their offense is 3 and out and hangs them out to dry. I think Kamara's lost a step. He's super talented, but he's like, I don't think he's like an every down back anymore. And I think that, you have great wide receivers, but you have a guy that, has a history of not being able to get it to them. So, then it's like this Taysom Hill, whatever you can get him to get out of him. It's like, it just always looks like that's why they're in these 18, 16 games every single week.
A battle of field goals today for me. That's what I said.
Those Colts.
That Colts. That freaking coach. I just knew we weren't going to win. Worst I ever had.
So the poll, 74% of the poll is on Indy. Okay, poll. Y'all going to sharp with us today at the crib. Let's do it. Next up. It's a good game. We got the Commanders and the Eagles. Let's start back in. David, what you thinking here?
I have hated what I've seen from the Commanders over the last 3 weeks. I know they got a win against the Falcons, but last week's effort was just horrendous against the Giants. I mean, they were terrible. Eagles on the road. I know they played in a close game, overtime game, 5 weeks ago. But I can't take Washington here. I just can't do it. I'm going to take the Eagles. Nothing from Washington's point of view do I love right now. And meanwhile, the Eagles are one of the best teams in the NFL. So I'm not going to overthink it. I'm going to take the Eagles here to win. Cover.
Romanelli.
I agree with you, David, in the sense that, it's been brutal for Washington, but I also think their schedule hasn't been the kindest to them. I mean, they played at Philly, then they got a home game against Chicago that they blew it. They just plainly put, they blew it. They had a good chance to win that game, get back to above 500, but then they played at Atlanta, at the Giants, so they played 3 of their last 4 games on the road. Now you get a home game against a divisional foe that you played very well against, forced overtime against in Philly not too long ago. And I still think the Commanders' defense is better than what we've seen. They're still getting pressure on the quarterback. I don't think Jalen Hurts looks as strong as we saw him last year. I don't know if that's just a personal opinion, but I mean, his numbers also aren't great. 9 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. I do worry. The one worry I have with the Commanders is their offensive line. I mean, they're giving up 5+ sacks almost every game this season. That's always a concern for a young quarterback like Howell, but I think the Commanders' defense does enough in this game to at least cover this number. Getting a touchdown with the home team in a divisional game, usually not a terrible place to be. So give me Washington plus the points.
Jovan.
Yeah, I'm on the Commanders in this one. The thing about it is the Commanders, formerly the Washington football team, then formerly, another name. They play the Eagles tough. 3-1, 3-1-1 last 5 against the spread. And, I think with Dallas looming large next week for the Eagles, it might be, what do you say, look ahead spot. I don't really like to use the term look ahead spots, but there's that. And Jalen Hurts, he doesn't look like the same Jalen Hurts from last year. I think it might have something to do with, a little bit of injury situation there, because he's not running the ball like he's supposed to, or like he has been, since he's been a starter for the Eagles. He's kind of been, hedging a little bit if you watched Eagles games. So I think with that said, I think this is going to be within the point spread.
Jovan, how good do you think it is for a quarterback to 4 or 5 times a game have 350-pound offensive linemen slamming into his back?
Not good at all.
I mean, because it's his own players that are hurting him, right? I mean, it's clearly his own guys that are doing the damage. I mean, because they're hitting him really hard, blowing him up, right? So I don't know. Do you think that maybe that taking its toll?
Hey, it's the game of football. So no matter who's on the field, if you're bumping into, people are bumping into you, large, heavy, saying guys on not only the defensive end, but your own guys, and yeah, it's gonna wear on you. I just see from what I seen with him is, him not going full throttle in these games. Sliding when he could get the extra yard.
But he's had some moments where he's looked just flawless, absolutely.
He just hasn't put it together game after game like he did last year.
Right, no,
last year was the MVP caliber season. They're doing just enough to win. A lot of times, and last week, they tore up the Dolphins.
Well, if you bet on a football game and your wide receiver gets grabbed by the face mask, get thrown onto the ground, and they don't call it, you're not going to win. That's just the way that it works. It's like if they're going to give them that, you cannot win. You have no chance. You have zero chance. If you see a defensive lineman touch the quarterback, just barely touch him, and they call roughing the passer, you're not going to win, man. You cannot win. So I think last week's game is a throwout, man. I think they're the better team than Miami, but they got every freaking call and 0 penalty yards. 0.
Yeah, you do see that from time to time in the NFL. That's for damn sure, and in the college ranks too. I saw a college game yesterday where the guy quarterback gave himself up, slid, and got hit, and they didn't throw the flag.
So in the Colorado game against UCLA, Hunter catches the ball, but it clearly hits the ground and moves. And Kirk Herbstreit says, you want to see the kid get rewarded for a good play. No, Kirk, actually want to see the correct call be made is the way that is what we want to see. Hunter's going to make a million great plays before he's done, but it's like that wasn't one of them. The ball hit the ground and moved.
What you thinking here? Eagles Commanders, Mitch. Freeze. All right, Brian, what you thinking?
Well, I'm going to agree with everybody else here. I'm going to take the Washington Commanders plus the points. Probably a little bit of slight overreaction from the Eagles taking apart the Miami Dolphins. If you compare Jalen Hurts' numbers to Sam Howell's, they're basically both mediocre here. We saw the same game a couple weeks ago. Washington almost knocked them off. No reason not to take the Commanders at home plus the touchdown.
And I'm going to conclude it all with taking the Commanders as well. The Commander, hey, this is my division. NFC East this is what I do. And in this division, there's a few things that always happen. The Commanders are always going to play the Eagles and the Cowboys like it's their Super Bowl. They always do that. And then they're always just seem to find a way to lose to the Giants. Same way how it's just weird how this division shakes out more often than not on a yearly basis. But this is what the Commanders do. Hell, even last year when the Eagles were, on that run, one of the best records in the NFL, who beat them? The Commanders. The Commanders always play these boys tough. I think they play them tough here again. Getting a full touchdown, I like. Javon also said something really, really keen. They played the Dolphins last week, primetime. Now they come in this week and against a division opponent that always plays them tough. And then they have a look ahead next week with them Cowboys on deck. Huge game next week with Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott for the first time in 2 years. Both teams seemingly playing decent. We'll see. We shall see. All right. Mitch, what you thinking? Eagles, Commanders.
I think it's going to be an interesting game because the Commanders have come out, and I didn't get to see. I got bumped. My internet went out or something. But the Commanders are saying that if they don't win this game, that they're going to trade either Chase Young or Sweat or both. I wonder where you would trade those guys to and what you would get back for them. But wow, I mean, for Chase Young, you got to figure 2 number ones or something, right? For a guy like that or Sweat. I don't know.
It's different. NFL is different.
It is different now, but it's like back in the day, like the Redskins, when you had to compensate for restricted free agents, they got Wilbur Marshall from the Bears and gave up 2 number ones for him. And I think Chase Young is like in that category. So
I think it's going to be like a second and a fourth.
Oh, that would be a gift. I mean,
I think so. That's what they're saying for Derrick Henry too, like a second and a fourth. It's the NFL.
Derrick Henry's a little further along.
They trade them first rounds every day of the week. NFL, that's not really the case.
Anyways, I like the Commanders in this one. I can't stand Sam Howell, but I just think that the Commanders, they just always play Philly tough, and I think they play him tough here. And I think that Chase Young and Sweat, I think, have big games. You know, when you have 2 good defensive ends like that, the reason the Commanders play Philly tough is because they can keep Jalen Hurts in the pocket, and that's where you want him. And you got 2 ends like that, you know, he's not going anywhere. So I like the Commanders. I think the Commanders, the way their defense set up with Ron Rivera, it just sets up to stifle Hurts.
Fair enough. Next game up. We got the Browns and the Seahawks. David, what you thinking here?
This is an interesting game. I do think Seattle is one of the better teams in the league. I know sometimes that's a controversial opinion, but I really like Seattle. I like Seattle at home. The issue for me is the Browns. I don't know what to expect from them. You know, like last week against the Colts was a wild game. It was back and forth. They didn't look great. The previous week, you know, they beat the 49ers who were banged up. And then the week before that, they got steamrolled by the Ravens. So, you know, it's an interesting spot. But I'm going to take Cleveland actually with the 3.5. You know, if this was 2.5, I would go Seattle. But I'm going to take Cleveland with the field goal. They have shown the ability to play well. Like I said, it's been a roller coaster. I do like Seattle, but not by more than a field goal in this one.
Romanelli.
I'm going to lean towards Seattle here. I just don't trust this Browns offense to do much of anything. They're banged up. The quarterback play has been some of the worst in the league. And while the defense has been exceptional, we saw last week it's just an unbelievable performance. They gave up 456 yards to Minshew and the Colts. So I'm concerned about that now going into one of the toughest places to play in the NFL in Seattle. I'll go with Seahawks lay the points.
Jovan.
Yeah, I'm on Seattle as well. You know, one thing about the Browns is the last 2 games were real high energy, seesaw games. And week after week, it's not sustainable. You know what I'm saying? So I think from a collectively mental aspect, I think they're gonna be down for this one. And going into Seattle's no picnic. So, with that said, give me Seattle, and I think Seattle wins by at least a touchdown.
Brian.
Yeah, this is a game that I flip-flop back and forth during the week, but I think I'm going to settle on a strong lean to the Seattle Seahawks at home. 12th man, always tough in Seattle. P.J. Walker, I think he might be the worst starter right now in football. 0 touchdowns, 3 picks. I've seen him play a lot of football. I think he used to play for Temple, P.J. Walker. But in any case, the Cleveland Browns defense, I don't think can win the game for the Browns today. I'll take Seattle, lay the points.
Money man, Mitch.
Geno Smith is becoming one of my favorite players, and that's something I would have never said about 5 years ago or so. I think this guy is the story, man, in the NFL, and I think this is the guy that you make a movie about and take all these young quarterbacks, Bryce Young, who's struggling, everybody like that there. Now I'm frozen, right? I guess my reactions are back on, but anyways, I think you look at Geno Smith and his career and just how down and out he was with the Jets. And, he was a 50% passer, type guy. So, you know, he was down and out, and he was certainly there we go, turn him off. Anyways, he looked done, right? I mean, this guy looked done, and he looked terrible. It looked like he was never going to have it. He was out of the league. He was out of the league, man. 2019, he was out of the league, man. He's come back, took over for Russell Wilson when everyone was like, what are you guys doing? Geno Smith? This guy is, I mean, he's not just managing the game out there. He's making plays, man. He's making plays. I love this guy, man. I'm taking Seattle. And this is Clappy. This is what happens when you have a coach who can make your players better, like Clappy. He makes his players better, man. He doesn't just sit there and try and move the pieces around. He coaches his guys up, and he does it. You got this, man. You got this. He makes them, he builds their confidence level. They're coming through the roof, man. I'm all over Clappy.
Yeah, all you guys made some solid points, but I'm fading all of you. I'm
fading yes.
I'm fading y'all. Browns. This one. Here's why, bro. Like, Geno is not good. He's not good. I'm gonna stay on that island. I'm gonna stay there.
68.6.
In hindsight, let's look at the Seahawks, bro. Let's look at them. Wins over the Cardinals, the Giants, the Panthers, and who's the other one? The Lions. The Lions win is a really good win. Everything else, man, I'm throwing that shit out the window.
Adams didn't play like in a lot of those other games, and he's a difference maker.
At the crib, I saw them get their teeth kicked in week 1 against the Los Angeles.
So did the Steelers. And so did the Steelers get their teeth.
You know what created a lot of problem in that game for Geno Smith and company?
Adams was out.
Aaron Donald, one of the most intimidating defensive players in the NFL. There was even a clip of Geno yelling, "Oh shit," when Aaron Donald was up in his face in that game.
He's not the first guy. Not the first guy.
Well, I'm here to tell you, man. There's a guy that's playing even more dominant than Aaron Donald. If you didn't watch that Colts game last week, then you don't know what I'm talking about. But I'm here to tell you, Myles Garrett is on an absolute tear, and he's going to make this game a living hell for Geno Smith. We're going to see that same Geno we all been anticipating. I'm not sold on Geno because he dotted up the Cardinals, because he dotted up the Giants, and he dotted up the Panthers. I'm sorry. I think this Browns defense is still one of the best in the NFL. I think they have him out here seeing ghosts today. I'm taking the Browns plus the points.
They're going to let him run right through the line. That Kenneth Walker is going to run right through him. That three on his jersey.
I'm glad that it's PJ Walker. I'm glad that it's PJ Walker because Deshaun Watson got away with high-rate robbery. Oh, my God. He got away with high-rate robbery. He don't even have to play another game, and that 230 is in his pocket. He's not worried about coming back to play, and he's looked terrible this year. The Browns, PJ Walker put up 39.
Even Deshaun Watson at his worst is no comparison to how PJ Walker has played. Here's the thing about the last 2 games. They didn't win because of PJ Walker. They won because of that defense and making key stops in that last game. Even though it went back and forth and it was a high scoring game. But
they put up 39.
I know that's what I'm saying. But in key spots, the defense did what they were supposed to do, even though they gave up points in the second half. In the first half, that defense was dominant and kept them in that game.
True.
So PJ Walker, yeah, he look at his numbers and look at what he does on the field. He's not an NFL quarterback, but it's a situation with Deshaun Watson. He's not playing his best, but I'll take Deshaun Watson any day of the week over PJ Walker.
Me too. But the way Deshaun been playing, I'm taking PJ today. That's the guy I want today.
I don't care.
You can have him.
If Deshaun Watson had a little bit of pain tolerance, I put him out on the field. But he's kind of weak-minded right now. I don't know what happened to the guy, but hey, whatever.
Fair enough. I had to turn it up a little bit. I'm taking the Browns in this one.
My question is, how does PJ Walker have a job when my guy Ben DiNucci's out of the league? We got to get Ben DiNucci back in this league.
I like Ben.
Got to start the GoFundMe, man. Get the campaign going.
Ben DiNucci highlights.
Carson Wentz.
Put it with my Emory Jones. Save Emory. We need more than what, 4 more games of Emory Jones? I need more than 4.
Speaking of 4, we only got 4 more games left on this show. I had fun today. I like
We got the NBA.
Oh, and we got NBA. Oh, shit. Forgot. All right, let's do it. Next up,
We can go quickly through NBA.
Ravens Cardinals. This line is up to 10. No, I see it back down to 9.5. It was 10 this morning. I see it back down to 9.5. Money man Mitch, you in the lead?
Yeah, I hate this big number. I hate laying it on the road and what sets up to be a low-scoring game, but Lamar Jackson is playing like an MVP candidate, and the Ravens are looking like a Super Bowl team. And the Cardinals, I just don't think that teams like that, they've played hard, they've played physical, but they clearly don't have the depth. And the further you go into the season, the more worn down they're going to look, and you don't want to be worn down against Lamar. I'm going to take the Ravens and lay the big number on the road. I'm senior square.
Brian B.
Yeah, talk about the squarest game of the board. This is probably it, but you have to go with the Ravens here. I just think I don't think they're going to show the Cardinals any mercy in this one. Lamar Jackson playing his best football. I could easily see him winning by 21 here. So I'll lay the 10 points with the Ravens here on the road.
Costy's saying to let him in. He wants to talk Ravens.
All right. Jovan, what you thinking?
Yeah, I'm on the Ravens, but I'll rock with them in the first half. Five. I see it on DK is 5.5. So, good number first half. 7-point win or 7-point lead.
All right.
I like it.
I'm gonna let Costa get set up. The Ravens have been dominant in the first half. One of my friends, that's his favorite play. Every Saturday, every Sunday, he takes me Ravens first half. Ravens first half. Ravens first half. Shout out my guy, man. All right, there you go, Costa. He's set up. Costa, what's up, my man? You're muted. There you go.
Eric, I just got to keep Eric muted all the time. That's the key. As long as he's muted, he could just talk.
Got the overhead cam on.
I don't know what he's got me doing over here. It's 17 screens over here. I don't even know what screen I'm looking at.
What you thinking, Ravens Cardinals?
Like Jovan just said, I like the first half. They usually get off to a good start. I haven't seen them play well in a close game yet. That's been so. If it's not a close game, I could see them blowing them out. But I could also legitimately see the Ravens losing today, just because they always play down to their competition, and they're really good at screwing up easy games. And it's been like that not just this season, for years. Love the first half. I think it's going to be 7-point cover in the first half, so you should make money if you take them in the first half alone. But it's a weird game, man. It's just everybody's been giving them all the hype. It's a typical letdown spot after last week, and I don't know, man. I'm not comfortable, and I usually am pretty good about picking and choosing throughout the season. When I'm on the Ravens, I'm completely laying off the game and just hoping they get the job done and get the win. Obviously, it's not going to get money for people if they just get the win, but from a fan side, I love the Ravens to win the game, but I don't think they're going to cover.
Man, take the Cardinals. That's the play. Just fade them. You got to fade them sometimes.
Can't do it. I already took a fade this year with Pittsburgh +4, just because I'll do that in the rivalry every time. If I get over the key number of 3 in that Pittsburgh Steelers-Ravens rivalry, all over it. I can't say it. I'm not going to. AZ. I can't even say it. That's it.
Fair enough. Romanelli, what you was thinking here?
Yeah, give me the Cardinals. I think this is a potential survivor pool killer.
Me too.
It's a classic letdown spot, like Costi said. There's just no value betting on Baltimore after the extreme blowout win, and now you're going. I mean, if Arizona can beat your Cowboys at home, they can beat anybody. This is the NFL. Any given Sunday, give me the stinky Cardinals plus the points.
David.
I'm going to fall right into the trap and take the Ravens. After watching them last week, they were very impressive. I know they can be a letdown here, coming off a big win like that, but they looked so good last week. They're relatively healthy and the much better team. So I'll fall into the trap and take the Ravens.
Fair enough. I'm taking the Cardinals. I'm not falling into the trap. I'm not. Let me preface this by saying I've been on the Cardinals now damn near every game this year. I have.
Last week must have been a fun time for you then.
Yeah, it was. But I'm back on them, man. I'm back on them. They should have covered last week, man. That kicker, He missed that field goal. I don't know if he scored that touchdown. I don't know.
Gotta like the kicker matchup in this game for the Ravens.
Damn, man. But
same situation, man. Same
I gotta
situation.
go one more week, man. I gotta go one more week.
I say you got Tucker indoors, man. With that, you need getting that half a point there to 10. That's like, oh boy.
Yeah, the dome's open. It's outdoors. The sun's coming in.
Not they're gonna close it when he gets up there when they're lining up for the field goal.
Prater's a Hall of Famer. He's playing.
I got 6-point win here for the Ravens. I think they win. I don't think they cover. I think they get punched in the mouth early, and it's going to one of them games they playing from behind, and they do come back and win it. But you'll learn early that there never was going to cover the run. I think that's what we're looking at here. We'll see. We shall see. A few more.
Boy, Zach Ertz sucks, man. That guy went downhill fast, huh?
He's hurt. He's on the IR.
He was out. He played last week. Poorly.
He's out.
He sucks.
He's got a hot wife that
he's a healthy scratch.
She's better at sports than he is.
Who's his wife?
Julie Ertz played for the U.S. women's national team.
Wouldn't know it. Don't follow.
Next up, Chiefs and Broncos. Let's go to Mitch. What you thinking here?
I think that the Broncos are going to get their asses kicked again. I think that basically, back to the drawing board here. What you got is Russell Wilson against the sick pass rush that hates his guts, and a Broncos team that just is, absolutely terrible. They ran the ball effectively last week, but the problem here is that Chris Jones wasn't in the middle of that defensive line when they were running the football, and it's just a different team. Patrick Mahomes is kind of like wide receiver shopping right now. They're letting him wide receiver shop, and McCole Hardman is now back with the Chiefs. And I'll tell you what, man, he has that chemistry with Mahomes is looking for him. Then you got Travis Kelce going on. And if you see Taylor Swift in that press box, man, and you don't have the Chiefs today, I'll tell you what, just throw your money and flush it right down the toilet because you ain't going to win. And that is just the way that it is. This Broncos team is, don't even think for a second this Bronco team is legitimate in any way, shape, or form. They aren't.
Brian,
other than that, I like the Chiefs.
What you thinking, Brian?
Well, I think this game kind of similar to the Commanders and Eagles. You got the AFC West division rival game here. Broncos have covered 3 of the last 4. Really do or die. Not that they're going to go anywhere, but Kansas City Chiefs over the years. Now lately they've been a good cover team. I think they covered 3 or 4 straight. But over the last couple of years, these are the type of games that I don't think the Chiefs cover. Broncos at home. I think they lose the game. Chiefs win it by 3-4, but the Broncos get the cover here.
Any weather update? There was supposed to be snow here. I know I saw snow Colorado State.
It's not going to be that bad.
It's not.
No, people think it's going to be a blizzard. I think you might see some flurries, but I don't think the weather's going to affect much.
I got excited when I saw like 6 to 10 inches or whatever it was. And
I saw that at first too.
Yeah, the total's still 46. It's actually gone up to 46, so no concern.
Is there any snow in Miami today?
Jovan, Chiefs, Broncos. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm on the Broncos.
Oh,
I had to back off of this as far as a premium play because I was going to make it a premium play, but there's a couple things I just didn't like on the Denver side, and it can very well be one of those late 2 possession games. But I think with what Denver does against the Chiefs, they get up for them. It's really just that simple. When they before last game, and depending on who you had, depending on what number you had it at, you either had a push or you got the cover with the Chiefs. But Denver, they played them tough. Last 4 times they played, Denver's covered 3 of them outside the last game. So it's either Denver 3-0-1 against the spread or 3-1 against the spread. You know what I'm saying? So just based on that, and it's damn cold out there. So it's gonna be a little bit more running, I think, than the first game. So. And
public dog, though. I mean, super public dog.
Hey, listen, sometimes
super public. Man.
Sometimes you got to roll with the public dog. I don't know that, and that's actually one of the reasons why I backed off, because there was too many people, too many bets on on the Broncos, and I had to back away.
Super public dog.
How could Denver be a public dog in this one?
There's no way they're a public dog.
There's no
Well,
way.
that's what the numbers say.
Straight games. That's impossible.
That's what the numbers say.
Just use your eyes. If the Chiefs have covered 3 straight, there's no chance that the other
Denver's
team is
one of
a
the most
public team.
popular teams in the NFL.
Oh, yeah,
Look
there's-
It has
at
nothing
they
to do
are.
with this season.
They're probably the least popular team in the
Super
NFL.
public dog, man. It's saying 49% of the public is on Denver.
It doesn't even matter where the public is, but I'm just saying. I mean, the world's betting
Common
the Chiefs in this
sense.
game.
49%
Anyway,
of the public is on Denver. Exactly.
I'm-
Super public dog, man.
I don't buy those numbers. But
No chance.
Super public
I'm
dog.
on the over. I think
No, these
I mean,
are the
look at the
good
Broncos.
numbers. These are the real numbers.
Broncos running the ball for 5 yards a carry this season. The Chiefs have given up 5 or more yards per carry in 3 of the last 4 games. I think they moved the ball well on the ground. I think Mahomes has his way as he usually does. I think we see a high-scoring game, competitive game. Give me the over.
David.
I hate to say it, and I hate to do it because I hate them, but I'm going to take the points with Denver at home. I've had my issues with Denver this season, and they were on my do not bet list there. Still are, really. I don't have a premium in this game, but Denver has played slightly better recently. And I think they find a way to keep this game close. Like Jovan said, I do think Denver does get up when they play the Chiefs. I think they do enough here. It could very well be a Kansas City blowout, but I do think Denver could keep this one close at home.
And Costa, anything here?
I'm actually with Ron here. I love the over. I think it's easy that they can get 7 touchdowns in this game. Both teams give up a lot of points. Denver does get up for this game at home, but this is a spot where I see that it's going to be maybe a backdoor cover. I could see Kansas City winning 31-21, and it's just one of those games where they usually are high scoring when these two teams play each other. And Denver's been scoring well of late. Sutton's been playing really well. Has scored in the last 2 games. He's got 3 touchdowns out of the last 4. They're definitely Javonte Williams. They're running him much better. Like Ron said, 5.5 yards per carry. He's not the guy I saw 2 years ago when he was a rookie, but he's still very talented. And Kansas City just puts up points, and the defense gives up a lot of yards. So them scoring 46 is a pretty low total in this matchup. So I like the over.
I'll end this with the Chiefs. I'm taking the Chiefs. I feel like I've been the leader of the Russell Wilson's a bum fan club for pretty.
You were a trailblazer.
And I will say for most of the season, the problem hasn't been Russell Wilson. It's been this defense. But no matter how I slice it, there's no way in hell I could take the Broncos here against the Chiefs. The Chiefs are playing well. I know that, in years past, they're not the most profitable team, but they've been cashing this year. I think they cash again here. Few outside the box things. No Taylor Swift today. She will not be in the building. So take that for what it's worth. And but what's the stat, man? The Chiefs have won like 15 straight. It's something crazy against the Broncos. Like, it's a big number. They've won straight. Jovan said the Broncos have covered in certain spots. They've been pretty good ATS in this series, but we saw them get beat and not cover at home in that last one.
Just means they're due. It's all it means. It just means they're due.
I'm taking the Chiefs.
This is one of those ugly ones.
Sunday night football. We have. Oh wait, no, we got one more game. We got one more game. Bengals, Niners. It's a good game. This game has me scared to death. I'm gonna be honest, because it's the Niners in a bounce back spot. Like, this should be a bounce back spot for the Niners. I still think the Niners. If I gun to my head right now, I would say the Niners are the second best team in the NFC. I would go Philly. Niners, Dallas, Detroit is how I would do it. And they're at home. Last time we saw them at home, they
Philly, Niners, Dallas, Detroit, no Ravens?
NFC.
Oh.
I think that last time we saw the Niners at home, they took the Dallas Cowboys behind the shed. And they've been on the road these last 2 games. So you got to kind of take that with a grain of salt. But in that same breath, man, the Bengals, we just saw them do this last year. Start, fumble, and then go on a tear as the year went on. And the books never caught on to the Bengals. They just never caught on. I got to grab the points here with the Bengals, man. I think it's the play. Joe Shiesty and company. I'm taking Cincinnati plus the points. Mitch, what you thinking here?
I think that, Brock Purdy's cleared protocol, so he is playing. But the thing is that, is a half a QB ever a good thing? And not so sure that it is. And I don't think laying more than a field goal in a game. This is 2 teams that, nearly made it to the Super Bowl. This could have been the Super Bowl matchup last year. It could be the Super Bowl matchup this year. I mean, both these teams made it to the championship game last year and lost. I think that I think there's 2 things going. The 49ers obviously played terrible the last 2 weeks, and the Bengals, I just can't get that road game at Tennessee out of my head either, where they got just absolutely run over. They got just steamrolled in that game. So I don't know. I think that getting better than a field goal, it's in a game that's a toss-up. I'll take the Bengals. I think this game is a toss-up all the way. I'll take the better than a field goal, though.
Ryan B.
Yeah, this is a tough one to call, but if you can get 3.5 or more with the Bengals, I think you take it. They've had 2 weeks to prepare for this. Niners, 2 straight losses is going to be desperate, but I think it comes down to a field goal. I'll take the points.
I want to know, does anybody think it's worth a shot taking the Bengals straight up on the money line as well?
I think without Deebo Samuel, it is, because it's clear that he's, they don't have, he makes Ayuk a better player. But without him, Ayuk's not he's not going to start dancing around and make people miss. It's just not what he does. So it's like, what else do they have, And now it's like you don't have to really worry about, Samuel being rubber band man out there, whatever the hell he does. It's like I don't even understand how he makes that many moves in that amount of space, and then nobody even touches him. It's like an amazing, it's unbelievable. This guy's just a freak, right? But it's
called being an athlete, Mitch. Athletes do that.
Yeah, you're right. I do that. I practice. I'll be doing it right after the show in the living room. But I think that I just think that I would say it's worth a shot. I love a good money line dog. I mean, it doesn't take much to get me there.
Javon, what you thinking here in this game?
Yeah, this is a game that I flip-flop on all week. Now, I could see both sides, and I could make a case for both sides. That said, there's this number's going down. This I've seen 5s, I've seen 4, I've seen 4.5s.
Yeah.
The more it goes down, the more I like San Fran to get it done. Whenever the line drives down on a Sunday like this, I start to look towards the other side, be a contrarian. And it seems like the whole world's on the Bengals. I know what they do. They start off slow, and they ramp it up in the middle of the season. But in this case, people are doubting the 49ers, and it's a buy low spot for me. Given the fact that they lost their last 2 games, I'll take a flyer with the 49ers.
Romanelli.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Jovan. It's a tough game, but I don't like one-dimensional offenses on the road, and I think that's Cincinnati. I mean, they've just not been able – they haven't run for more than 100 yards all season, more than 75 or 93 yards against Arizona. But, this San Francisco defense, it's coming off its worst performance of the year. There's no doubt about it. But like I said, with, Kirk Cousins, a few of those throws could have went either way. I think we see San Francisco's defense bounce back. I'm not a huge Brock Purdy fan, but you still have very good skill position players on that team. One of the best running backs in the league. I think San Francisco does enough. I still think Cincinnati's one of the weaker teams in the AFC. Honestly, they're 3-3 on paper. I don't see it. I mean, when you look at yards per game and the strength of schedule that they played, I mean, they played at Cleveland, lost that game. They lost to Baltimore. You played the Rams, the Titans, the Cardinals, the Seahawks, and you're 3-3. To me, now you're at San Francisco. I think the 49ers win this game by a touchdown.
Could I make the argument they was just banged up, Romanelli?
You can make it, but I'm not taking it. I'm gonna think.
David, what you thinking here?
Yeah, I like the Bengals here, and I do think it is worth a shot on that money line. Cincinnati coming off of a bye week, so they had the extra week to prepare. San Francisco banged up. We've seen them struggle. I know the injuries have played a huge part in those struggles. They're back home for this one, but the Bengals, they're 2-0 after the bye over the last 2 years. I think having that extra week is going to be huge, and I think definitely on the spread, I love it, and I would take a shot on the money line as well.
I just looked. They got a huge game next week, Sunday Night Football. They got the Bills at the crib. Should be an interesting game here in this one. Costi, what's your thoughts?
This is at 4.5. I think this is going to be a get-right game for San Fran. Going across the country, the Bengals, look, the reason San Fran has struggled over the last couple of weeks, they get greedy and they only rush 4. They assume they're going to get to the quarterback with 4 guys without a blitz, and it hasn't been happening, and that's why they've been diced up over the last few weeks. I think they're going to adjust. They're a good enough team to make those adjustments. I don't think the loss of Debo is going to be as big of a factor at home. I think McCaffrey was still a little banged up last week. He's now had another whole week to recover, and at home, they're just a better team. I hate the Bengals altogether, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a Ravens fan. I am saying that because I'm a Ravens fan. But it's at 4.5. I think this is a get-right game for San Fran, and it's a big spot for them to really make a statement.
Fair enough. I'm going to keep it with you as we go to Sunday Night Football. We got the Chicago Bears and the Los Angeles Chargers. Any thoughts on this game?
I like the Bears getting 8.5. I think the Chargers don't blow teams out. Their defense is atrocious. They're going to keep it close, and there's not enough film on the backup Badgett yet to really take away what he's not good at. As long as he doesn't make mistakes and they just score 18 points, I think it's going to be enough for them to get the 8.5 points to cover the spread. So I just don't see the Chargers. Eckler's been hurt. Mike Williams is out, and Palmer really hasn't stepped in as that key number 2. He's hit or miss. And I just don't see them blowing him out. I think it's going to be a 7, 6.5, 6 games, somewhere around there. That's what I made the line to begin with as a Charger. So I think the Bears get the cover at 8.5.
David Racing.
Yeah, I hate it, but I'm going to take the Bears here as well. I can't trust this Chargers team or the coaching staff, and I just think this is too many points. I think Chicago does enough against a bad defense here to keep it somewhat close. And like I said, just the coaching for the Chargers is just, it scares me to death. And to, lay 8.5 points with them, I'm not going to do it.
Fair enough.
You're getting 9.5, 10 now. I see a 10 and mostly 9.5s out there. 9.5 at circa with pressure on it. So it looks like you'll be getting at 10 with Chicago. I think it's worth it. I actually have the Chargers in the survivor pool, so I'm a little concerned. But yeah, I think, the defense, like Costi said, is just not trustworthy enough to want to lay this many points. I think Los Angeles still wins this game because their offense is just too much for the Bears. And it is, the first career road start for Bagent, which, it's not necessarily the toughest place to play at SoFi. I wouldn't be surprised if there's more Bears fans there, but I still think it's something to think about. So I say the Chargers win, Bears cover.
Devon?
Yeah, anyone who knows me watching these shows knows that I love fading the Chargers in this spot. Just as a favorite in general, because they're not a good team. They have a good offense, bad coaching. Staley should have been fired after last year. What happened? But he's still there, and as long as he's there, I'll be fading them in this, over a touchdown spot.
Fair enough. Brian B.
Me and Romanelli with the same suicide pick. I also have the Chargers, but like Romanelli, I kind of like the Bears with all these points. Both these teams, I also like the over 46.5. Both these teams with horrible pass defenses, and I think we're going to see a bunch of points here, even from this Bears lackluster offense. I think we get over the 46.5.
Mitch.
I think it's going to be interesting to see who of this Chargers assistant coaching staff becomes the interim head coach. It's because there's not a lot of meat on the bone. I mean, Kellen Moore is there now as the offensive coordinator, but is he really head coaching material? Because I don't see Staley making it through any. I don't see him making it much longer here.
No.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the problem that you have here is that if you're going to go internal on an interim head coach, if you're going to fire him during the season, then you got nowhere to go. You know, you don't have a lot of options here. So it's like either you hang on to him or I don't know, maybe you take a flyer on one of these, like, not coordinator guys, so, this, or you have someone lined up. And I mean, it's rare that they bring in another coach from out of the blue in mid-season. I mean, they just don't do it. I mean, it is that bad in Los Angeles. 2-4 is absolutely unacceptable for this team. I mean, the Bears are going to win this game outright. And I think that, this is for the Chargers to be 2-4 with that roster is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I mean, I'm not an NFL head coach, but I'm better than this guy. Jay?
I agree with all you guys. The Chargers are terrible, but I'm taking them here in this game, and I cannot with clear conscience look in this camera and say I'm taking
You're
them.
You're a foolish man.
I know, but the Bears, they are the Bears. Like
that was our consensus, man. We had our consensus.
No.
We were so there, man. We're sliding into home.
No. I'm taking the Chargers. Early in the week, I was on the Bears. I did the opposite of Romanelli and Brian. Early in the week, I was on the Bears. Bagnett didn't wreck the car last week like Justin Fields usually does. He just handed the football off and they got the job done. I think the Chargers are tired of everybody saying this shit about them. I think they put their foot to the brake today. I mean to the gas is what I said. Is what I think today. We'll see. Not one of my favorite games, but I'm not betting the Bears not one time this season. I'm not doing it. They are terrible. This won 2 games in how many they played? In what? With 17 plus 17? 36. They've won 2 games in like 36 games. I know that this is a point spread. I know we're getting a bundle of points, but I know you guys know there's a possibility where Herbert just come out here and just dot these boys up and is up 17-0 at half, and then the Bears just don't do nothing. There's an avenue where that happens, and I see that avenue much rather than I see the Bears putting it together in back-to-back weeks. That's just how I see it. So before we move on to NBA, does anybody need to get out of here?
I got to run, guys. Cash on Sundays. Enjoy the games. Let's make some money.
Anything you want to pitch? Sharp trading plays? Maybe.
We're Sharp Trading Plays. Big Al's program. All Access has been red hot for a month now. Sharp Trading, we're doing extremely well with NBA. 7-3, I think, so far this week.
What is Sharp Trading Plays? How does that work?
So Sharp Trading Plays, you go to premium picks only on Pick Dogs. You click the drop down. You're going to see Sharp Trading Plays. Just shoot me a text with that number on there, 775-636-7674. If you're a big enough player, I'll take you into the program and coach you, but it's not for everyone. And if you have a big enough bankroll of at least 5,000 or more, it's definitely capable for you to make some big profits. But I'll be the one talking to you only, and I'll get you in a program to make you a lot of money.
You got a 3-team parlay lock today?
I don't do parlays.
Okay. Just checking. Just asking. Hey, if you don't ask, you don't know.
No parlays, no round robins, sharp money only.
I'm looking for an 18 parlay lock.
Well, that was last Saturday. See you guys.
Anybody else need to go for a move on to hoops?
I got 3 locks, but only 2 keys.
All right, let's do it. Let's talk some NBA. Let me get my graphics together. On to my favorite place in the whole wide world, the NBA. All right, let's see. First game up, man. We got a good one. We got the Chicken Nuggets out on the road facing the Thunder Buddies. Thunder Buddies for life. Mitch, what's your thoughts on this one?
It's a tough one. I like the Thunder because, those are guys. It's Chicken Nuggets and Thunder Buddies. I mean, this is just it's got it all rolled into one. I like the way the Thunder are playing. They've been doing it as a dog once again for us. I think they might be a little public doggy here. Earlier, I really liked the Thunder, but I think got to go with the Nuggets.
You're gonna switch up and take the Nuggets. Brian, what you thinking?
I think you got to go with the Thunder here plus the points. They're 2-0 in the year. This is their home opener.
Not gonna hate
Denver
you for it.
Nuggets. I'm gonna take the Thunder here at home plus the points. I
Tough game.
think it's a 3-point game.
Tough game, man. That is a tough game.
Javon?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the under in this one. Afternoon start, sleepy spot. As far as offensive play, think the pace is gonna be slow, especially on the or slower, especially on the Denver Nuggets side of things. So yeah, give me the under 228 or 230. Yeah, a little bit too high for my liking.
Romanelli.
I'm going to take a Ruffolo on this one. I don't see anything.
Okay. First Ruffalo of the day. I'm surprised we went this long without a Ruffalo. David.
Yeah, I don't love it, but I'm going to take the Nuggets here. I faded the Nuggets in that opener, thinking they might start a little slow. Could not have been more wrong, and I'm not prepared to lose again on the Nuggets here, so I'm going to take Denver.
Fair enough. I'm going to take the Thunder Buddies. Thunder Buddies for life. The thing for me here in this one is the Nuggets. I like the Nuggets. I'm a chicken Nuggets fan. But they do most of their hooping at home. They were the originator of stupid, dummy, crazy because they just go crazy at home. Like that's where they play their best basketball. Last season on the road, straight up, they were 25-25 on the road. That's a 50-50 team. The Thunder Buddies, I feel like this is where they thrive at, this small road dog, and they usually get up and play the good teams well at home. I'm with Brian, home opener. Hey, man. Thunder Buddies for life. I ain't switching up. When we get the Nuggets back at the crib, we're going to make a ton of money on them there. But here, I got to roll with the Thunder Buddies. Next game up. Hold on. We have, let's see, I do that right. I don't know if I did this graphic right. We'll see. No, I didn't. We got the Rockets and the Warriors. I'm gonna start from the back. David, what you thinking here?
I'm going with the Warriors in this one. I know they're on the road. They did get the road win in their first road game this season against Sacramento. They looked pretty impressive in that one in their last game. But, Houston, I don't love them. They lost by 30 in that first game to the Magic. They played better against the Spurs, still lost in overtime. This line's not huge, so I'm going to take the Warriors on the road.
Romanelli, any thoughts?
I've got a premium on the side, and this one's my NBA play of the day. I'll lean towards the under, though. I think the under's worth a look.
Jovan.
Sheesh, Golden State running rough shot over these Rockets, but I'm gonna hold my nose and take the Rockets. I saw this line move up. Last time I checked a whole point, so think the Rockets catch the Warriors sleeping today, and make this a 4-point game.
Brian B.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Rockets plus the points. First look at this game, the first reaction is just to jump on the Golden State Warriors here, but I don't think Steph Curry is going to end up playing in this one. Rockets that look putrid, almost got the win in overtime against San Antonio. I think they keep it respectable here against Golden State.
Money man, Mitch.
The Rockets really let me down in the opener against the Magic. They got blown out of the building, and playing the Spurs stuff. They had the number 1 overall pick last year, so hardly battling the Golden State Warriors if Curry plays. Jovan said the line moved up, and to me that means that Curry is playing. And if Curry plays,
5.5.
Yeah, Warriors. The higher it goes, the more I like it. Warriors all day.
Yeah, this one's fairly simple for me. I'm taking the goddamn Rockets plus the points. Here's why. I know the Warriors have come out this year and have flipped the script 180. But last year, I cannot get that out of my mind, and I don't think 2 games is enough to throw it out. On the road last year, the Warriors won 12 games. 12. They won 12 games last year on the road. They were terrible. They were 13-34 ATS out on the road last season. league worst. I'm talking about like this was as bad as it gets. And it was usually in these little sleepy spots like this. I'm not taking the Warriors here, man. I think this is one of the worst plays on the entire board. I think it, like
you don't
Brian
think betting against Chris, you don't think Chris Paul in a meaningless game against a bad team? I mean, he's made an entire career out of that spot. I mean, he has.
Fair.
He has made the entire Hall of Fame career out of beating bad teams in meaningless games. He is Bryce Harper.
I understand that, but 12-35 were the Warriors last year on the road.
Come on, Bryce Harper. He's the multi-time MVP. I don't want to get started with baseball.
Chris Paul has all that stuff too. He has all that same stuff. Same stuff.
Bryce Harper is one of the most
resume.
clutch baseball players in history.
Come on,
No.
All right.
First and
Let's
second.
stay on track.
First and second with 2 outs in Game 7, late in the
one
game.
One time.
He popped out.
They pitched around him the whole series.
Time.
They pitched around him.
That was
Arizona
the
pitched around him
Game
the whole
7
time.
of the Eastern
What are the
Conference
other
Finals.
times? What are the other Game
Arizona
7
pitched
at-bats
around
that he's
Bryce
had to be
Harper
clutch?
the entire series.
When's the clutch at bat that he did convert on?
Well, against the
When
San
is it?
Diego Padres, they sent him to the World Series last year. I remember that at bat in Philadelphia.
12-35 were the Golden State Warriors out on the road last year. Until they show me that they're gonna hoop in one game against Sacramento is not enough to prove that to me. I look to fade this team. That's what
CP3 bitches. All of his numbers over.
Next game up, we got the Atlanta Hawks out on the road facing the Milwaukee Bucks. Lillard and Giannis game 2. Mitch, what you thinking?
Loving the Hawks in this one. They always play the Bucks tough. Trae Young has been straight ass this season. Last time Jay and I talked on Friday, I was like, Trae Young can't possibly be so bad again. He was. Murray still hasn't hit a 3-pointer this season. It's like something's got to give here. I'm taking the Hawks, man. This is their game. Maybe they don't win, maybe they do win, but they always play the Bucks tough, and got me nowhere saying that they always play the Knicks tough. So might as well stick to it.
Brian B.
Just a slight lean to the Milwaukee Bucks here. I like the crappy teams.
I don't like Mitch's picks, so I'm going to take the Bucks.
I just got a slight lean to the Bucks here.
It's like if Mitch likes the Hawks, I like the Bucks. I really had no opinion whatsoever.
Joe Vaughn.
Yeah, with the Hawks being 0-2, this is going to be it's 82 games in the regular season, so you can't say it's a must-win for Atlanta. But this is a game that they're gonna want to get just to get out of just to get their first win of the year. Now, whether that happens or not remains to be seen. But with the line being at 7, 6.5, in some spots, I'm gonna take a shot with the Hawks.
Romanelli.
Yeah, these teams split the season series last year, and none of those games were really close. Bucks won by 8, Hawks won by like 20, 15, and then the Bucks won by 9. I say you take the plus money on the money line with the Hawks plus 200. I could see the Hawks winning the game outright or Milwaukee earning that blowout win. So I'd just take that plus 200.
It was a straight Bittler fade on that. You can say it. It's okay.
Straight Bittler fade.
David.
I know this number's high, but I'm going to roll with the over. I know Atlanta hasn't shot very well this year, but I think these are going to be 2 of the higher scoring teams in the league this season. Really like how Milwaukee looks offensively. I think we see plenty of points in this one.
I'm going to agree with some of the guys, man. I got to take the Hawks here. Until it's still early in the year for the Bucks. At the end of the season, I definitely think they're going to be one of the 2 best teams in the East. But right now, this is game 2 of Lillard, Giannis. They should have covered in that first game, and what happened? We saw them, kind of fumble around late, don't have that same familiarity, and didn't cover. And I could see that being the same thing here. The Hawks, this is a group that's been together. They hate the Bucks. I think they go in here, keep it competitive. Bucks win, Hawks cover is how I see this one.
Everybody hates the Bucks, not just that.
Next up, man, we got the Blazers and the Sixers. Mitch, anything here?
This is a tough one, too. It's like this is a bunch of tough games, but the Sixers, they busted me up in Toronto the last time. So I'm going to go back to the Sixers. I bet against the Sixers twice this season. I've lost both games, so I'm going to bet on them this time. I don't care.
Brian.
I'll take the Sixers to lay the points. Just a lean. I just think Portland's the worst team in the NBA. And Sixers, a lot of problems with Harden, inner working problems. I think they got enough to take care of Portland.
Jovan.
Yeah, I don't know if the Trailblazers make it to 100. I don't think they hit the century mark in this one. And they're going to need both teams to get over this total, and I don't think it's going to happen. So give me the under.
Romanelli.
I'll agree with Giovanni. I like the under in this one.
And David.
I was going to say the under too, but just to switch it up, I'll take Portland. I don't think they're the best offensively, but I also have a few questions about the 76ers. I know played Milwaukee tough, beat Toronto, but I think big number here. I think Portland can keep it close.
I'm gonna take the Sixers. We will be able to make money on Portland later on in the season, in my opinion. Until I see it, though, I'm not trying to catch a falling knife. Scoot Henderson, the number 2 overall pick, I'm here to tell you right now, he's looked horrible. He has not looked like a number 2 overall pick. He has 18 points through 2 games. It's not good. It's not good. Sixers, they were profitable. They were one of the best teams as a home favorite last year. So what that tells me is when they have bad teams scrolling through, they usually beat up on them. I think they beat up on them here. Give me the Sixers in this one as well. Next up, Spurs Clips. David, anything here?
I'm going to go with the number 1 pick, Wemby. The Spurs lost that first game. They won in overtime, but really they played Dallas tough. In that opener, Dallas pulled away in the last 40 seconds. They got by Houston, which isn't saying much in overtime. Clippers coming off that loss against the Jazz. So I'll take the Spurs here with the points.
There you go. Romanelli.
I think Wemby Spurs are really overvalued to start this season. A lot of hype for this team. I still think they're going to be one of the worst teams in the league, and I think the Clippers win this game in a blowout. Double digits. I'll lay the points.
Jovan.
Yeah, give me the over in this game. Both teams are 2-0 to the over so far, making number 3 in this young season for both teams. Over.
Ryan B.
I'll take the Clippers laying the points. I agree with Romanelli. I think Spurs a little bit overvalued here. Clippers covered 3 of the last 4 in the series. I think they win by 15.
Money man Mitch.
Everyone knows how I feel about Wemby, so Clippers all day for me. Kawhi, he only plays when he wants to play, man. And I'm gonna guess, and this is one of those spots where this guy's getting all this ink and all that stuff. He's gonna want to play. And Paul George is just filthy in games like this, man. He just loves beating these guys up. I'm gonna take the Clippers big.
This is one of my least favorite games. If I were to play it, though, I would take the Spurs. I just don't feel comfortable laying huge numbers with the Clippers. I can't believe you
take them after Wemby dissed Luka on that game, man. He just dissed him. It was crazy.
I know, man, but the Clippers
went to go shake his hand. He walked into the locker room. What?
I don't feel comfortable laying huge numbers with the Clippers. It's just what it comes down to. Would I be surprised if they beat up on the Spurs? No, but I can't lay double digits with this team. This team was a terrible favorite last year. They're not a money-making team. ATS, they're never that good. It just seems like a bad place to be. It seems like a 7-point Clippers win written all over it in my mind. So I'm going to take the Spurs plus the points in that one. Last game up, I'll start first. I'm going to take the Lake Show. The Lakers in this one. Sacramento last year played their best basketball out on the road. They really let me down the other night, man. How do you let the Warriors, who only won 12 games on the road last year, come in there and beat you? And when you got playoff revenge, they put you out the playoffs last year. And then you let them run the score up on you like that at the crib. Man, I'm turning the beam off. I'm taking the Lakers. Anthony Davis, it's on his shoulders, bro. You got to hoop. It's that simple. If Anthony Davis hoops, the Lakers win comfortably. If he doesn't, Sabonis will have a better game and the Kings win. But I think it's the latter. I think Anthony Davis shows up. I'm taking the Lakers money line. Mitch.
I'm going to take the points with the Lakers in this thing. I think the Kings maybe have a chance to win. It's going to be holding on for dear life if they do. I don't know, man. They played so bad against the Warriors, and the score was not nearly as one-sided as the game was. The game was even worse than that. And the Kings, like Jay said, on the road are great, but at home, spots like this, I don't know. I don't trust the Lakers all that much either, but I'll take the points with them.
Brian B.
I'm gonna lean to the Sacramento Kings here, laying the points. They covered 3 last 4 versus Lakers. I think this is the number 1 team they get up for, the LA Lakers. Just lean. I'm gonna take the Kings, win by 3.
Jovan.
Yeah, I'm on Sac in this one. They're 4-1 against the spread. And 4-1 straight up against the Lakers. Not only that, but just on the strength of last game, them not getting up for a game they should have got up for with the Warriors. I think they come alive in this one and have a comfortable win.
Romanelli.
I'm just concerned with the Lakers. I think the Lakers' defense is where it needs to be, but the offense, the perimeter shooting has just not been there at all. We saw them shoot like 17% against the Suns. It was an ugly game. I just think only so much AD and LeBron can do. I think they need some help. And they in the offseason, the big thing was getting those secondary scorers, and so far that hasn't done anything. Gabe Vincent 0 for 5 from 3 last game. I'm going to lean towards the under, honestly. I think we see a more defensive game. It's a super steep total for a Lakers offense I don't trust.
Hater.
Yeah, I'm on that same thought as Ron. I don't trust the Lakers offense. I do trust the Lakers defense. Even with the Kings, I don't think are a very good defensive team. I still think the Lakers struggle, and I'm on the under as well.
All right, David, what you selling today?
I have 3 NFL plays, 1 NBA play, and 1 NHL play. It was a rough day for me yesterday, specifically on the ice. I had 3 NHL games. 3 NHL games that my team had more shots, and I had 3 overtime losses. So it was a rough one, but the overtime gods were not looking out for me. But we look to bounce back today. So head on over, join me for the day, join me long term, or jump on one of these other guys. But either way, let's have a great Sunday and look forward to a Lions victory tomorrow night.
Yeah, I have a 3-pack right now, 2 NFL plays and an NBA play. Last Sunday, we were 6-0 in the NFL, 6-1 overall. So far, 3-0 in the NBA. So looking to do some damage again this Sunday.
Yeah, I got a 5-pack in the NFL off 1 o'clock plays. And then I got a 3-pack, and that's for the late afternoon and Sunday night football portion. Also have an NBA play going up as well. So check me out on that and the Sunday night football play standalone.
What you selling today, Brian?
Just 2 and 3 day yesterday, but the important play hit the titanium play 13-5 last 18 of my best bet titanium plays. You can get my NFL best bet titanium over at pickdogs.com. Just $25 gets you that best bet winner, or you can get it in my 3-pack, my NFL stack and cash 3-pack, all 3 plays for $50 at pickdogs.com.
What you got today, Mitch?
I got juiced yesterday. I went exactly dead even on my games, but I hit all 3 of my top plays, my early, afternoon, and late. Kansas State, Georgia, and Oklahoma State. All easy, crushing one-sided winners. So those are the ones that were really up there for sale. So everyone that bought cashed in big. But the thing is that today I just have my NFL top play. That's a later play. And then my early games, I've got a 3-pack.
For sale today, guys, I have a money-making NBA 3-pack. We swept the board on the jam session yesterday, hit all 7 games, trying to keep it rolling, hit the top play, of course. So a top play in the NBA, a 3-pack in the NBA, and I got 5 plays in the NFL today. I'm locked and loaded. Best thing to do long term. Let's bring everybody back in.
Halftime today, everybody. I'll be there.
Yep. Before we go, actually, I forgot to do one more thing. Let's bring in Eric. Eric, you're muted, my man.
How are you?
I'm doing good, my man. You got anything to add before we get out of here?
I'm actually sending out for guys that plays right now. I just got the word. I've been waiting, rocking and rolling, monitoring. Like I said, I don't look at the TV. I just look at the screens. And I can't really add more than what you guys has added. If you're a serious bettor and you're looking for high volume and late moves throughout the day, unfortunately, I can't post the plays on the website. You have to literally get on my Telegram channel, get the plays in real time. Just like Mitch, I'm very active in second half wagering. I'm trading the games all day long. You got the early action from Mike on the sharp trading. You got Big Al's all access. Send me a text at 775-636-7676. The Dime Club, lower volume, except today it's a little higher volume. I'm sending out these games for at 12:20 basically for games that start at 1 o'clock. And then I'll update that Telegram channel at 3:30. Then I'll update that Telegram channel prior to the Sunday night's game, if there's anything at all. I got to say one thing to you, Jay. I got my money back yesterday on Arizona.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. In dominant fashion, they did it too. I was kind of surprised. But, hey, it's a long series. We'll see if we can go to Arizona and fight back. Fight back.
That's it. I'll be on whoever the dog is. I'm blindly betting him. That's it. That's how I roll.
Fair enough. Anything else from anybody before we get out of here? No.
That's it. I appreciate everyone that tunes in, and of course, all of our Pick Dogs family that shows up for the show. I think we're going to do for Saturdays the way that we've been doing it, because then we kind of do this style with Kyle Kerms for college football, and then Sundays we'll stick with the roundtable style. I like it. We might have a few pop-in guys, obviously, for Eric. This is a busy time with him because he has more of a hands-on texting and all that. So he might still be like our closeout guy, on the show. And, if we have someone that has to run and they just want to give a pick and run like Al did today, we'll be able to do that at the beginning of the show. But it's going to be more similar to this style. And we'll get the graphics and everything tuned in because we decided on going back to this style about 20 minutes before we went on the way.
Yep. That's the show, man. I appreciate every last one of y'all watching. We had a great viewership today, man. Shout out to everybody that was there. Let's make some money on a Sunday, money-making Sunday, NFL Sunday, NBA today as well. Let's cash out. Appreciate it, y'all. We out of here. Peace.